All right, so I'm here with Joshua Alsip, the founder and creator of Copper Still Fragrances and the creator of one of my top 3 all-time favorite fragrances. And so we're here at Boone County Distillery. We just got done trying some of Boone County's finest. And so we're relaxed, ready to have some fun and talk about Copper Still Fragrances and introduce you to the founder, Joshua Alsip. Stay tuned. All right, welcome to Just Breathe Fragrances, where we've tried thousands of different fragrances across every category to bring you honest, insightful, and unbiased reviews, interviews, and so much more to keep you smelling the absolute best in every moment that matters. As I mentioned, we're here in Boone County Distillery, where we just got done with a distillery tour. We tried, 5 or 6 different types of alcohol?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be a very relaxed and fun interview for sure, but I'm here with Joshua Alsip, the founder and creator of Copper Still Fragrances, and me personally, one of my top 3 fragrances of all time comes from this fragrance house, and we're here with, I think this is the first video that's ever been done in terms of his new fragrance, which we'll talk about here in just a minute. And then we've got one so 51C, 51 in cola.
Yes, sir.
That's already on the market or no?
It's coming out soon. It's in the final draft stage. Once I give the go-ahead, couple weeks to a month for maceration, and it's going to be getting ready to get bottled. So pre-orders will be out soon.
Nice. So he let me smell that before we went in for our tasting, and it's incredible. I would say that it's comparable to something that's fairly popular in the market, but it's better. And some of you all may or may not appreciate that, because I know there's some fanboys and fangirls of this one particular type of fragrance that I'll connect it to, but it does its own thing. And then he's got one that isn't even when is the other one? I'm not gonna mention the name yet. When is it gonna be out?
I wanted to say before Christmas, but it's looking like Q1. So late January, early February. It's going to take some more legwork as far as getting the bottles, some extra work on the barrels, and then just hammering down that final draft on the perfume itself.
Nice. He hasn't let me smell that yet, so you're going to get first impressions from me whenever it comes to this new fragrance, and I'll let Josh do the breakdown of that fragrance. But I'm excited to talk a little bit about the brand itself, because it's very unique what Josh is doing with Copper Still Fragrances, and a little bit about what he has planned for the future as well. I will say that I'm going to link to the video of one of my top 3 all-time favorite fragrances out of over 3,000 sample bottles I purchased and over 200 full bottles I have at the house. That's one of my top 3 all-time favorite. And it's still number 1 for my wife. And so that says a lot. But before we get into the 2 fragrances that we're going to be talking about a little bit about, those 5 or 6 different alcohols that they had us try I should have eaten first. So if you would, tell us a little bit about what was your inspiration for Copper Still Fragrances, and what can people expect from the current line?
So our origin comes from me just being a giant frag head, honestly. I got into fragrance about 4 to 5 years ago with Calvin Klein Black. It's an OG. I couldn't go with Abercrombie anymore after that. I kind of started diving more into niche. And I found some love with the Arabian Oud and the Ajmal and those Middle Eastern fragrances, especially the ouds in it. So I made a few contacts, and I have a friend that he makes the oud by hand. It was passed down from his grandpa and his grandpa. They're in Kannauj, India. It's the fragrance capital of the world. They make it using the old techniques, and I used to sell it to perfumers. So if the people needed high quality oud, I would basically be the middleman, and I would bring it to them and however much they need it. That kind of got me some friends in the fragrance community, especially my perfumer. And I approached him. I was like, hey, I'm thinking about putting my toe in the fragrance market with my own stuff, with the idea of doing something that isn't currently on the market, something that's different, something that means something. I'm not just out to make money. I'm not just out to get some clout. I want to bring Appalachia's distilling history to the forefront through fragrance. I'm a bourbon head. I love moonshine.
Clearly, you chose to meet at
We're
Boone County Distillery.
Yep.
You told me a little bit about your perfumer, and you educated me before we walked into our tasting. I'm really interested, and this might be a separate video, but I'm really interested to talk to him as well because he has his hands in a few different fragrance houses that are some of my all-time favorite indie brands, and so. But go ahead.
Yeah. So the perfumer I reached out to, he doesn't like to be in the spotlight.
That's why I didn't recognize.
Didn't name drop.
Mention his name.
Nope.
Yeah.
He is very much he does it for the love of the game. I reached out to him and I said, the bourbon market is so saturated right now. There's people like Boone County Bourbon here doing it right, doing it the way that it was done for hundreds of years. Back, we did the history tour and they're talking about 1850, 1915, making millions of barrels here in Boone County. I wanted to do something similar, but the market was so saturated. I thought, how do I do it? Bring honor to Appalachia and do it in a different way. So I thought my love of fragrance. I put two and two together, and I came to him with the idea, and I said, hey, I want to honor Appalachia's distilling history through fragrance. So Copper Still Fragrance. We have a bourbon line, and we have the Outlaw series, which is moonshine. And the entire antithesis behind the entire brand is to honor Appalachia's distilling history. So we do the legal side, like Boone County does here with the legal distilling, and we also go in the backwoods with the moonshine, and we honor the people like Popcorn Sutton that did it illegally and put food on the table for their family. I don't want that history to go away. So all of our stuff is booze. If you don't like booze, you won't like us. But if you like history, if you like booze, we're here for you. And that's what we do.
I would challenge anybody to try Watermelon Shine and not fall in love. So if I remember correctly, the notes of Watermelon Shine are, so the booze that you use is East Tennessee whiskey. So East Tennessee whiskey, sassafras, which is a type of tree. I remember.
Kudzu?
Yep, I remember growing up, pulling up small sassafras trees and making tea out of them.
Yep.
So I know exactly what it smells like, tastes like. So East Tennessee whiskey, sassafras, kudzu vine, honeysuckle, and I feel like I'm missing one.
Watermelon.
Oh my gosh. Right, watermelon, of course. So the honeysuckle lends some sweetness. It's not too sweet, slightly boozy. It's kind of heavy, but still at the same time airy. So once again, I'll link again that video. I really encourage you to check it out. And it's in my wife's top 5 video as well. So I'll link that also. But we're about to smell 51 and Cola first, right?
Yeah. So this is the presentation. It's just like the other.
I love the
Copper
presentation.
Still.
Yeah.
You got the barrel here, the handmade barrel. And then here is the bottle.
There we go.
Right there.
51 and Cola. Check that out. I love the presentation, Josh. So is this is the actual, so it's got that frosted.
Frosted glass.
That's beautiful.
It's supposed to remind you of something I can't say because of copyright issues. A certain cola, if you will, a certain cola can. That was kind of the inspiration behind it.
Right.
I've got a draft here. If you want to take a smell. Actually, I'm going to give you the one that I didn't give you yet.
Okay.
This one's a little spicier in my opinion.
And I'll tell you what, if you want, you can just spray my hand there.
Okay.
I love this. So I will say that whenever I smelled it at first, it smelled kind of like Mancera's Tonka Cola, but I will say this actually smells a little bit more well blended, a little spicier. My wife doesn't really care for Tonka Cola. I thought it was okay. I didn't want to walk around smelling like it personally. That's just I am a fan of the house, but it wasn't one of my favorites. This one, however, I can smell the whiskey and cola, and what smells to me like some cinnamon and allspice, like cooking spices. and it's really nice. I think for cooler weather, fall and winter time, this could be a really, really solid choice, especially as the weather gets cooler. Man, I don't even have to bring my hand to my face. So this has to have great projection. Yep. I can't even imagine the sillage from this, the scent trail that it would leave. This is really nice, Josh. So there's a few different versions you're trying to decide?
Yep, so you smelled the first one. That's the second one.
Okay.
And then this is the third one. So what I do is I work with the perfumer. We're kind of separated by a long distance. So I'll come to him with my ideas. Like with 51, I took the inside of a bourbon barrel. I scraped the char off. Some of my favorite bourbons I sent him. We actually the perfumer's alcohol, I barrel age it here in Kentucky before it goes into the bottle. So it's basically a bourbon when it comes out.
So the perfumer's alcohol you actually have in a bourbon barrel.
Yep, it's a level 4 alligator char, just like here at Boone County, like we talked about.
That's so neat.
Goes in there, sits in my barrel, and it's a non-climate control, so it gets hot and cold, and it breathes through that wood, and gives you that extra depth that you don't get from some of the mainstream fragrances. I try to do it traditionally. I try to honor Appalachia when I do it, so I want to do it the right way, not taking any shortcuts. So the perfumer's alcohol is a corn mash bill alcohol instead of the normal vodka, basically.
Oh, wow.
So there's a little bit of a difference in the smell there. And then it goes in the barrel. That's just for the bourbon side. Obviously, the moonshine side is not barrel aged, but all of the bourbon side, the cast strength side is barrel aged perfumer's alcohol. This is the next one. So we go back and forth. I probably had 50 drafts of this, and we make our changes. I'll let you have your own thoughts on this one, and then I'll tell you.
I can still smell the other one, so I definitely prefer the other one.
Agreed.
Myself. This is nice. I think the other one has more depth.
Yep.
Yeah, hands down,
Easy choice.
The other one, in my opinion. Yeah.
So getting to work with an awesome perfumer and getting to try all these different samples, what we found out on this version is that the more you increase the booze, the more you leave behind the depth. So you'll get a big blast of booze in the nose on your first sniff, but it kills the Coke vibe. It kills the delicateness of that Coke in the dry down. If you sit with it for a while, this one I spread here, that bourbon will come through and be nice and warm on the smell after about 20 minutes.
Gotcha.
So that's how we go back and forth and pick the fragrances, and I think the 2.5 here is going to be what we go with, but you can kind of get a sneak peek into how we make our fragrances.
I love that. So for me, I'm really excited to have the wife smell. So the way that I typically judge whether or not I'm going to buy a full bottle is I get samples first, and then I try those and see what I think, and then have her try those and see what she thinks. And if she doesn't like it, I don't buy a full bottle. Watermelon Shine was, man, it was interesting because I don't normally blind buy full bottles over $100, and yours is just over $100. I blind bought it, and I loved it. And I haven't blind bought anything over $100 that I can think of. And it's one of my favorite. This, however, I feel like this is going, so as soon as this is available for full bottle purchase, one, I would encourage you to roll out 100 ml bottles of this, because this is going to be something that I think everybody is going to love, especially if you like heavier, more cool weather fragrances. I'm going to feature this in a top 5 cool weather fragrances video for sure. This is something that I think everybody is going to really like and appreciate. If you like Tonka Cola, you want something that's blended a little bit better, it has more depth and complexity, it's a little bit more grown up, then 51 and Cola is going to be what you reach for. This is going to be something I don't think is quite as polarizing either.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. I really like that one. And you've got one more that I haven't got a chance to smell yet.
Yep.
And I'm really excited about that. Before we get into that, if you would, talk a little bit about where you see Copper Still fragrances going, and what you would like to have the brand look and feel like over the next few years.
So I took about the last 6 months off to really derive and come out with the best products I could for this second half of the year with 51 and Cola and this upcoming fragrance. But with that break came lots of orders that came from rebuys and word of mouth. And that to me was just, I mean, I'm beyond blessed that happened, and it's heartwarming every time I get an order where I'm like, how'd they find out about that? Well, someone told somebody, or somebody watched the video, or somebody smelled it on somebody and found me and ordered it. So I want Copper Still to be a global brand, but I don't want it to lose its down-home roots. So it's more of a lifestyle than a brand itself. We've got some clothing coming out that's going to represent your favorite fragrance. If you're not going to rock your Copper Still fragrance that day, you can rock a Copper Still shirt. But it's all about, like I said, honoring Appalachia's distilling history. And I've sold orders to England and Australia and Poland and all of these places across the world. And it's so cool that person who would have never heard of Appalachia, who would have never heard about people running liquor in the mountains in East Tennessee or Western North Carolina, or that don't know the bourbon history or how bourbon is made or how bourbon is exclusive to Kentucky.
That's right.
Bringing our history to the masses. I'm a Kentucky boy born and raised. I've been here all my life. I don't plan on ever leaving. If I do, it's probably to East Tennessee, so not very far, still in Appalachia. And that's the whole goal, is just to bring that history, those individuals who paved the way that these buildings can exist, that people come here from all over the country, all over the world to taste bourbon, that go to Tennessee and taste moonshine, and all the old stories about people running liquor from the cops and building churches with it, putting food on the table. That's my jam. If I can get everyone to hear those stories and to live that life, as far as honoring those people, then that's my goal complete.
So over the next few years, you're hoping to expand more globally to get the message out and to be able to share the history with the world.
So I'm going to start doing some clips of different stories from different people in Appalachia about what it was like living there or what it's like to live there.
Oh, nice.
Some of the different things that they have to deal with on a daily basis. It's a very impoverished region. Mm-hmm. Education isn't so great, but they're real good people that live there. And I want to bring that to the forefront. So coming up soon, once I get 51 and Cola out and get some breathing room, I'm going to start recording stories from people in Appalachia or stories from moonshiners or distillers and where they came from and what got them to where they're at. And I'm going to start taking some cards and putting it with the different fragrances you pick. So you might get a story in your box with your Copper Still stuff, just to really accentuate that history. And that's really the goal, is just to tell those stories and to live those stories out, and you get to wear the stories. Like Boone County Bourbon here, they talked about on the tour, is they were founded by ghosts, and they don't want to lose the heritage there. In the same way, Copper Still, we're all about the heritage. We're all about bringing that heritage to the forefront and telling those stories to other people. I
love it. There's one of my favorite wines does that with stories. Mm-hmm. You can scan a QR code, so I'm excited about that. I'm probably a little bit more excited to smell this next fragrance because you've kept it from me, so you haven't let me smell it yet. We just got done doing our tour here at Boone County Distillery here in Kentucky, and part of that was we got a chance to go into a Rickhouse, which is where they keep all of the bourbon barrels. And it smelled incredible when you walked in there. And what's this new fragrance called?
So there's a new fragrance coming out. It's going to be coming out probably next year, if I'm honest. I'd love to get it out before Christmas, but I don't think it's going to happen. It's called Rickhouse. And it's going to be on a different line. It took a lot more oils, a lot more work and effort, and the presentation is going to be elevated as well. But 51, it's a great bourbon fragrance, and the whole idea behind 51 was that when you spray it, you can spray it, enjoy the boozy hit, and then that boozy hit goes away. With Watermelon Shine, you get that boozy hit, that booziness kind of fades to the background. The whole idea is that it's a work-safe fragrance that still gives you that boozy vibe on all of my fragrances so far. That's always been our goal. Hasn't been the easiest one to obtain. 51 and Cola, you'll get that boozy hit, and then you'll get the warmth and the spices and the oaks and the fizziness of the Cola and the dry down. I wanted to figure out a way to elevate the brand / separate fragrances that I could just go crazy on. That I don't care if you're going to wear it to work. It's not work safe. It's not going to be
more of an artistic expression.
More of an artistic expression. That's exactly the way I'd put it. Is just to go all out and say this is me in a fragrance, and bring some ouds and stuff like that in the future. We'll see what happens.
It's exciting.
But I said I want you to go through a Rickhouse and get that fresh smell in your mind before I spray it. Man, this was a long time coming. It's not quite done, but I want you to smell it and tell me what you think.
If
all
you
right?
can spray these two right here. Yeah. Oh, okay. Perfect, perfect, perfect.
Tell me what you think initially.
I can already smell it. I can already smell it.
It just makes me smile when I smell it.
That's interesting. So I love it. It does smell like a stronger version of the Rickhouse. A little bit sweeter, just a little bit. The Rickhouse itself wasn't actually sweet at all until you got up on that resin that we discovered. Man. So I would absolutely wear this. So this is a slightly boozy. I would have expected it to be a little bit more boozy, but this is a slightly boozy, deep, more of a dark fragrance that I think would go really well with. When you think booze and boozy fragrances, you probably don't think custom suit and tie, black tie affair, that sort of thing. But I could see this being something that you wear to a formal affair. I know that you mentioned that this might be something that wouldn't be as widely accepted, and that wasn't even the purpose. It was to be an artistic expression. I think you'll probably be surprised how well received that this is in the fragrance community, and even with folks that aren't necessarily super into fragrances, but they just like to smell good, because this is really nice. Like I said, it's dark, it's dense, I would describe it as resinous, and there's a little something else too there.
It's that top note that is so hard to place. That was what we tried so hard to get right, is that when you walk in, there's the angel share that you smell. It's got that tannin up in the top. It's hard to place, but it's like we were talking about before.
Woodsy, sort of. Woodsy.
The oaks. We talked about like Louis Vuitton Nomad being one of my favorite. Every day, or like, everyone's gonna like what it smells like. And then Arabian Nude Majestic Woody Intense being a power fragrance. So where 51 is like my people pleasing, this is my power fragrance. If I want to feel like I'm the man, I'm wearing that, and I'm gonna boost my confidence level when I'm wearing it.
Yeah, man, it almost smells like there's dried fruits in there too. Man, that is really nice. Do you have a note breakdown yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
It's coming out, but I would refer you to that sheet that you got during your tasting. If you look at some of the tasting notes, are probably somewhere of the fruits that you were going to smell in that in the cask. Gotcha.
So before I turn it over to Josh for any closing remarks about the brand, just anything in closing he'd like to say, I want to say that the 51 in Cola is, the moment that goes on the website, I'll be the first person to purchase it. That is really solid, great cool weather fragrance. And now I'm starting to get a mixture of both of them. But that Rickhouse coming up in the first quarter of 2026, be on the lookout for that as well. And it's copperstillfragrances.com?
Copperstillfrag, F-R-A-G.
Copperstillfrag.com. Make sure to bookmark the website and be ready for 51 in Cola to drop, because I would bet that it'll sell out pretty quickly. And then in Q1, I'll be messaging you to get Rickhouse before everyone else if it's possible, because that is really solid. Anything in closing that you'd like to say about Copper Still fragrances, or just fragrances in general, to the audience listening?
So like I was saying, we've worked real hard the past 6 months to push this last 6 months. And one of those things was the discovery sets. A lot of people were asking for discovery sets. I know Ross from TLTG.
Ooh, let's show them the discovery set real quick.
Go ahead.
The mock-up of the discovery set. So the presentation on the full bottles is already very impressive. But as far as the discovery sets, I'm a sucker for a good discovery set. So it, to me, looks like a cigar box, kind of, sort of. Then when you open it up, it has all of the different fragrances it talks about, and they're in these little rollable sample bottles, right? And so it has the initials of each one, you can see on the top, the lid. So that's probably the best presentation I've seen, and I'm gonna show you one more time, a little bit closer. Probably the best presentation I've seen. Thank you for taking the time to give us something that we can keep and not just toss after we're done with it, something that actually you can be excited to show your friends. That's very nice. But yeah, any closing remarks?
No, just thank you so much for the support. I've heard from people all over the world. I've started finally doing some international shipping. That was some hoops to jump through, but I'm happy to send it out now. It's really to the core of what we stand for. I just want to thank you guys all for the support, and know that we're trying as hard as we can to keep bringing you great fragrances that honor Appalachia's distilling history.
Awesome. So guys, I would encourage you to go to copperstillfrag.com and bookmark that site. That way, whenever 51 and Cola comes out, you're one of the first to know. And whenever Rickhouse comes out, you can get your nose on that too, because that didn't smell like necessarily exactly what I thought it was going to smell like. That's a little bit nicer. No wonder why our tour guide was excited to share it with her manager. So once again, I want to thank Joshua Alsip and Copper Still Fragrances. He was nice enough to give me a Watermelon Shine shirt, which I'm sure my wife will be excited to see. And check out some of the other Copper Still videos. And if you haven't already, go ahead and, like I said, copperstillfrag.com. Get ready for the discovery set, because it will be ready when?
About the same time as 51 and Cola. So we put 51 and Cola in the discovery set, so we're going to wait on the final proof of 51C, and once it comes out, they'll probably release, if not simultaneously, probably within a couple weeks of each other.
Awesome. I'm so excited to try everything. So once again, if you haven't already, follow Josh. Do you have a social media that they can follow as well?
Yep, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. We have a Facebook group. It's a little bit more cozy friends, where you can kind of chat and talk about the fragrances and talk about stories. And then we also have the website. We're also on TikTok. I try to get on there as much as I can, but I'm on Instagram all the time. Check us out on Facebook.
Gotcha. All right, so folks, that concludes our interview with Joshua Alsip, the founder of Copper Still Fragrances. And as always, fragrance doesn't just smell good, it says something. So choose what smells right for you and just breathe. Thank you.